But the fate of the universe was at
And the fate of WWE is on the line. If Roman,
they have to take down the bloodline.
They gotta take down the bloodline.
So the bloodline is Thanos and his followers and whatnot.
Yep.
The Rock is literally Thanos.
He really is.
He really is.
He's
Thanos.
the final boss.
Really is Thanos.
Welcome back to I was about to say the Loading Up podcast because that's what I'm used to introducing that. The Excuse Me Brother podcast. I do have to edit the socials. I forgot to do that actually because we mentioned that.
You still got us using Facebook out here?
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I've been slacking. I'll take full responsibility. Yes, welcome back to the Excuse Me Brother podcast.
You're about to say loaded up again.
I am your co-host, Producer Jay, along with my other co-host, Brother Jay. And Brother Tay is not with us this week, as you can see. That's clearly not Brother Tay.
Yeah,
that is actually enough. Brother Cam. Welcome. At my actual brother, I call him Brother Cam.
There we go. What up?
Yeah,
welcome.
What's up?
Welcome.
Thank you.
And he's filling in because this is a special episode. If you haven't read the title, we're gonna be talking about wrestling, Wrestlemania, because according to The Rock, wrestling is cool again.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So I guess we'll start off. Where or when did you guys get into wrestling? I mean, I know Cam because he's my brother. But
yeah,
Jay.
If I recall correctly, my cousin Ashley and her younger sibling Aaron, they were into wrestling before we were into wrestling. So when they got into it, and whenever we would go see them, they used to live in co-op. So whenever we would go visit them or they would come visit us, they would watch wrestling. Now, my cousin Ashley, she was a huge Jeff Hardy fan. Right? She was big on the Hardy Boys. And then I gravitated more towards, in fact, me and my sisters, we more gravitated towards no surprise, The Rock. Like we were into them, you know what I'm saying? So
in the Attitude Era, right?
In the Attitude Era, right. So that time, we were watching Raw every Monday night, watching SmackDown every Thursday night. We bought all the games. I had a PlayStation, so I bought the SmackDown games. My cousin had a 64, so he had No Mercy. But just watching it every week, and then a lot of my friends at school were into it as well. You know what I'm saying? So we were watching it every week and dissecting what we saw the night before. Some of us were able to watch the pay-per-view, some of us weren't. So it was a wonderful time. It was like watching. It's another version of comic books if you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have your favorite characters and they all do battle, and how can you not like wrestling, honestly? So I think I was like 4 or 5 years old when I got into it.
5? Okay, yeah. No, that's very young. I feel like everybody got into wrestling at one point. Like if you were born in the 90s, like especially you were born in the 90s, you got into wrestling at one point. Like it's just, there's no escaping it. Like you would have to be freaking living under a rock in order to know who The Rock is or who Stone Cold or Kane or Undertaker.
Right.
So, so Cam, how did you get into it?
Well, I'm sure you know, but I got into wrestling because I would pop in the room every once in a while and I'll see you on Sci-Fi or USA. And I would pop in and be like, oh, that's cool. It would be SmackDown most of the time.
Usually SmackDown, yeah.
Usually, yeah. Yeah, SmackDown, man. But I remember seeing, who was it? No, actually, the first time I actually watched it by myself and not from like your TV or whatever, I didn't even know what channel it was. But I hopped on channel 48, kept on watching SmackDown. But the first time I watched Raw, I remember my first Raw that I watched. I remember Triple H and Sheamus. Triple H pedigreed Sheamus through the announce table. And that's the first
street fight?
Yeah, that was like 2010, I think.
How old are you?
I know it's.
That was the first time watching by myself. Yeah, I know.
He is 21.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You don't remember 9/11. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Born literally the year.
I don't recall. Yeah.
Okay, you get a pass. Because I'm thinking like you don't remember when SmackDown was on UPN or
Nope.
when Raw was on Spike TV.
He don't remember SmackDown on Thursday.
Oh,
Well,
my
they brought it back.
God.
Did they bring it back on Thursday?
Yeah. I remember they brought it back on Thursday eventually. I don't remember what year that was.
Maybe that was like when I stopped watching, but
I think it was because you took a little gap.
I took a break. I took multiple breaks.
So did I. I think I stopped watching around 2008 to about 2011 when, lo and behold, when The Rock came back. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, seriously, same.
And then I think I took a break from about when Undertaker first retired.
Yeah.
To about maybe a year or two later. And I think that's when I got right back into it when I went to WrestleMania 35, which we'll get into a little bit later, but
yeah.
That's when I started picking it up full time again.
Yeah, I remember I took a little break. The worst timing ever. I took a break around 2014 when the Shield was popping, CM Punk left, Daniel Bryan, Wrestlemania
on the rise, yes.
Break the streak.
Yeah.
I remember I was so out of touch. One of my friends told me like, "Yo, did you see the Undertaker?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "The streak broke." I'm like, "No, I have to watch it again. I have to." And I started that Money in the Bank the same year. I started again.
Such a weird time to, and it's funny because like he got into wrestling at a different time. I would argue the worst time because you were saying like 2010, like that was
it was
one
rough
of the
times.
That was when I was not watching.
Sheamus was my world heavyweight champion.
Oh my God,
Sheamus.
Oh my goodness. What's his name was world champion at the time too? Kane.
Kane was he was
Kane
champion,
was champion
for,
at the
for
time.
a minute.
Yeah, it was dark times.
It was rough. Yeah,
that's Cena
hard
was
times.
Super Cena.
Super Cena.
Hard times, man. Hard times. I mean, it molded me to really be loyal to wrestling.
That's true. If you could find enjoyment in wrestling back then you can find enjoyment anytime.
But there were some good moments. There were
a lot of good moments. But think about it, that's when he first started getting into it. We came from a different time where like wrestling was at its peak. So we saw the dip a little bit. But to him and people who started watching it around his time, it was like, oh my God, what is this? To us, it was just like, man, y'all know what y'all missing.
Like you missed the grace period, not the grace period, but like
the golden age.
Age. Yeah, and I'm sure other people like older generations will say, oh, like screw the Attitude Era, like the new generation era, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, that was the best. And it's like it's a generational thing.
It is.
So, but yeah, so like our generation, I remember when right as the Attitude Era was ending, and it started, and then like they bought WCW and ECW and all that stuff. Like right when that started to happen, everybody started like dipping out. I don't know why. Like it felt like it's such an odd thing. Like maybe because a lot of them were WCW fans, so we're just like, fuck WWF. I don't want to watch that shit. Like so, like overall, the product started to like take a downturn. But I was sticking through it. Like I was a fan through the Ruthless Aggression. Like Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and the rise of John Cena, Batista,
JBL,
Kurt Angle, all those guys. Like those were my guys. I feel like that in my prime, those were my guys. And it's weird living in an era and going back to what Cam said, because he started in an era when wrestling wasn't popular. It's weird going from an era where wrestling was just like you couldn't escape it to now it being like you watch wrestling,
wrestling's fake.
Yeah, it's fake, right?
Sure, it pisses me off when people say that.
Yeah, and so it was very awkward, I would say, and I got to a point where it was like I watched it in secret, like literally. I would watch it and then like I would tell nobody about it and I would not talk about it at all. And there would be some people who were like actual wrestling fans and they would try to talk to me about it, but I still was just like, no, I don't watch that. What are you talking about? Yeah. I don't know who DX is. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, DX. Oh man. You know what's funny? I just shared a post with my sisters, right? Me and my sisters are in a group chat on Instagram, and I shared a post, and it was like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna show your kids how to do the DX chop because in the photo, I mean in the reel, the caption was like, "Oh, your nephew when he gets in trouble with his mom for doing the DX chop that you showed him." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, no, I'm not teaching my nieces and nephews how to do that. They're in enough trouble as it is.
Yeah, no, that was another thing too, and I mean, to my knowledge, I don't think like my parents were very like active about that stuff. Like they never really told me, "Hey, don't do that," with like the DX chops and the suck it or whatever. Like even though they probably should have, but
right. But we used to do it at school a lot, and it was like the teachers was like, "Why are you like? What are y'all doing?
Why are you telling people to suck it?" Like,
right. Oh, Cam, you missed the Wonder Years, man.
Well, to be fair, I remember when I got into wrestling and all that, I remember hearing so much about the past. So I remember looking up, all the Jeff Hardy clips, all the DX clips, the Stone Cold, the Rock, all that. I remember I literally watched an entire match of Umaga versus Jeff Hardy just because I love Jeff Hardy.
That match. Yeah, I remember that match.
I love Jeff Hardy, and I didn't even like watch him live at all. I've never watched him live, and I made the little cut arm sleeves and all that.
Nice. Okay,
so I never did see him live. That's
so. Let me ask you, Cam, and Jeremy, you can answer right after him. Who are your top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time?
Oh man,
that's
Triple H will always be up there.
Really, Triple H?
Really,
Triple H.
Okay,
one of my top 5. CM Punk, obviously.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy got to be up there.
Okay.
Oh, CM Punk sweater too.
Yeah.
Nice. Here's where it gets tricky. Cause of all time, I want to put AJ Styles up there.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna put AJ Styles up there.
You better put him up there.
I'm gonna put AJ Styles up there. I gotta put some respect on his name, man.
You were the one who was telling me, like, when I started getting into, like, AJ Styles, you were like, yo, I used to watch him in TNA and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the only reason, well, Jeff Hardy as well. They're the only 2 reasons I watch TNA, ever.
Same.
And number 5, damn, that's a tough one. I gotta say probably Shawn Michaels, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's a respectable top 5. I can't argue with it. I could, but I won't because those are actually 5 very good themes that you mentioned.
And it can easily be
long-time guys.
Yeah, definitely. I love AJ Styles from TNA and all that. Shawn Michaels, I never really got to see like that. So if I could swap somebody out, I would swap Shawn Michaels for Randy Orton. But that's it.
Ooh, yeah,
that's really it.
Okay. Good. I respect it. What about you, Jeremy?
Appreciate it.
All right. So, number 1 overall, Eddie Guerrero. Like that was my dude. Like when he won the world championship from Brock Lesnar, like that was my first like chills moment. And it's funny because I didn't even watch it.
Yeah.
It was like I saw like clips of it because I wasn't watching pay-per-views back then. And then he defended the title at WrestleMania. It was just one of those moments, like the underdog story. That was the first time I experienced the underdog story and how powerful it can be. And we've seen it constantly since then. But he was my guy. So Eddie Guerrero is number 1. Number 2, AJ Styles. Like I can't tell you how many AJ Styles shirts I have. It was like I got too many. And like especially like when he came in to WWE, because I was following him in TNA, but it's just like TNA. Like, I'm not
just TNA, yeah.
I'm not gonna go out of my way. I would if he had a good match that I heard it was a good match. I tune in for that. But Otherwise, it was just like it's whatever. And so when he came in, that was like shocking moment. Like there was like rumors leading up to it, and I didn't know what to believe. And I remember I was talking to you, Cam, about it after he debuted, and it was magic. So AJ's number 2. Number 3, I would say, is also Randy Orton, because I feel like he's like an all-timer. I feel like in every era, Randy Orton has been relevant. And I can't find a time where Randy Orton wasn't like at the top of his level, at least like from like a wrestling perspective. He always like, I can't say, I mean, I'm sure it's happened. Can't really pinpoint at the top of my head like a bad Randy Orton match, you know? Like there's been some lackluster ones, some were like less exciting than others, but it's like he's always gonna deliver. So then if you had asked me like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, I probably would have put him higher, but The Rock, obviously, because I feel like he was a lot of everybody's favorites at during, like we said, the Attitude Era. And number 5, I would say Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy, it was mostly the Hardy Boys together as a tag team, but I always gravitated towards Jeff, and I think he's also an all-timer. He always he's one of those guys where you can always count on him to do something crazy, and it's a miracle that he didn't get as injured as he has, or as most wrestlers do, doing what he does. I think his first major injury was not even in the ring. It was like an accident on like an ATV or something like that.
You said Jeff?
Jeff, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know, Jeff had other issues outside.
I mean, yeah, that was a whole nother thing. Right. If I had to, like Cam said, if I had to swap out, I put either Jeff or CM Punk. I feel like CM Punk, he was like there, but like I wasn't always with him. Like towards the latter, like maybe the last 3 years, I was with him. But I mean, obviously now I'm with him because I mean I got his hoodie. But but yeah, those are my top 5.
So I noticed that none of you guys put 2 names that I would put.
Well, the
Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin. What's up with that? What's up with that? I'm just asking, like, why not?
But Stone Cold, it was more so I was more of a Rock guy than Stone Cold guy. If you ask my cousins, like my cousin Andrew, he was a Stone Cold guy. Like he always like picked him, like when we were playing the wrestling games and stuff. Like he was Stone Cold. For Undertaker, like I respected him, but it's not like I was like, oh, I gotta see the Undertaker match. You know what I mean? It was just he was just there, and like I would always watch his matches, but it's not like I was tuning in for him. He was just in addition to.
Okay, fair. Cam?
To be fair, one of the reasons why I never really I don't want to say paid attention to the Undertaker. When I was getting into wrestling, I saw all the videos of like Undertaker, and I was still young, so I was like believing it, and I was like, nah, he's showing up in the back of. Yeah, I thought Kane was his brother. I thought he died and then got resurrected. I thought all that stuff was real, so I was like, nah, I don't like the Undertaker. And then I kind of really got into the Undertaker when he faced Triple H, but I was more of a Triple H guy. So I really was rooting for Triple H, and I did not want the Undertaker to win. So
and he really wanted the streak to end early.
Yeah, it should have been Triple H. Whatever. It should have been Triple H or Shawn Michaels, to be honest.
Okay, we'll talk about the streak in the next segment, but because we're gonna get into WrestleMania a little bit. But what was I gonna say? No, you were still explaining yourself. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, but that's for Undertaker, but Stone Cold again. Like I never really.
I was past his time.
Yeah, the only time I knew Stone Cold is in 2K14, I think it was, where he was in Showcase. That's the only time I really knew about him. Oh, 2K16, yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know much about him, to be honest. I knew more of The Rock as well, so past my time.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I just wanted to see where y'all heads was at. Okay, so for me, number 1, my favorite wrestler of all time is clearly The Rock. Like he's the reason why I started watching wrestling, and it wasn't just because of his his in-ring ability. Like, for example, I didn't even know for like a good 5 or 6 years that he was part of the Samoan family. How do you say their name? I know why.
I know why, yeah.
Right. I didn't even know for like a good 5 or 6 years that he was part of that family. So I was just going off of him in the ring. Like when people used to tell me that Rikishi is his cousin, I'm like, get out of here. No. It's the same as saying Undertaker and Kane are brothers. Stop.
You thought it was
kayfabe. Right. I thought it was kayfabe. But no, come to find out, no, they're actually related. But not only that, but his mic ability was entertaining. Like, not only was I watching a freak athlete, I was watching a man who could actually entertain me, make me laugh by insulting people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
especially when he was a heel, yeah. Even when he was a face.
Dude, there was this oh man, Cam, go back and watch this. I promise you'll laugh. There was it's a promo with him, Triple H, Kane, Chris Benoit, and Kurt Angle, right? And he just like, after a match is set, Rock gets on the mic and just starts like, he disses the absolute hell out of Kane and Chris Benoit. And something that we can't even say today. That's how bad it was. And it come to find out that Benoit was really pissed at him and wanted to fight him backstage, but Vince wouldn't let him do it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, come to find out. So look up that promo. I promise that's one of the reasons why I love The Rock, right? I wish that he had won more championships during his time, but
he really wasn't there for long. Like, neither was Stone Cold.
No. Well, Stone Cold got hurt. You know what I mean?
But Rock left.
Rock left. Rock was only there for like 8 years. You know what I'm saying? From like 96 to 2004, and then he was in Hollywood full time. But yeah, every time he comes back, you see like how much of a drawing power he is. I mean, look at the work he's doing now. He practically saved WrestleMania. This year's WrestleMania. Practically.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. So number 2 on my list is actually The Undertaker. And the reason why for me is 2 reasons. One, when Rock left, Undertaker was one of those guys that I counted on every week to actually like put on a show. And especially when they did the brand split and Undertaker was on like SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Undertaker was a SmackDown guy. I liked SmackDown more than I liked Raw. And Undertaker was like kind of like the face of SmackDown, especially during his big evil American Badass days.
Yeah.
And then when he went back to the Dead Man character, he was still putting in work and main event and actually like carrying the show, in my opinion, along with Batista, along with Eddie Guerrero and JBL. It was putting on some really good matches. And then of course you had the streak where, every year you watched WrestleMania to see if the Undertaker was going to keep winning. And then he kept winning. Even as he got older, he kept coming back, wrestling once a year, and until the streak finally broke. We talk about a guy who literally sacrificed body and limb to, put on a great show for us every year. Like, the dude has had over 17, 18 surgeries in his life. And he feels like he can still wrestle, but it's like, no, your body's like, nah, I can't do that.
You know what I mean? It's mostly because a guy his size usually doesn't last. Because he's very big. He's a big guy. So, like, the fact that he had the longevity that he had is a testament.
Exactly. Like that over the top jump that he does when he runs from one side of the ring and then jumps over the ropes and lands on the outside. Like, dude, a man that big should not be flying that high. Like,
I catch a heart attack every time he does that thing.
Yeah, there was one time when he almost got injured. I remember. I forgot who it was, but like I think maybe
it was against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, and he like pushed him out the way to like not land on his neck or something like that.
No, so what happened was he pulled the cameraman in the way, so that way he wouldn't take the hit. But Undertaker like kind of like flipped in the air, so to speak, and landed on his head, and it looked really bad. Like, I was actually kind of surprised he didn't get hurt, but like you said, he's a high risk guy, so and it actually. my favorite WWE moment of all time is actually when he debuted as the American Badass at I think it was Judgment Day 2000. If you go back and watch that, when you go back and watch that video, you can see how insane the crowd was going. Like, he got a huge pop to the point where they started throwing stuff in the ring.
Yeah.
And Undertaker's just going crazy, beating up everybody. That, like, you don't get moments like that anymore.
Yeah.
You'll never get moments like that anymore. So that's why I got him number 2. Number 3 for me is Shawn Michaels, because, again, like, win or lose, he's always entertaining. Like, no matter, he's always going to put on a good match. You know, I think two of my favorite WrestleMania matches with him, I mean, of all time, are with him, where it's Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. And then one that seemingly people always forget was WrestleMania 21 with him and Kurt Angle. Two very good matches. Very good matches. And he lost both of them, but yeah, I still always watch those matches because he put on the show. Number 4, I got to go with the Game.
Late.
Yeah, Triple H. Listen, Triple H, he's a cutthroat guy, and he's a badass, but he's earned his stripes. Like, he's put in the work, and you can see what he's doing on the executive side now. He's saving the company. You know what I mean? Ever since he's been on the executive side, he's been saving the company, especially with all this stuff with Vince and all this stuff with Brock and all that other things that, you know, developing NXT. NXT is his baby.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually like taking WWE to a different kind of level, and I think the company is in good hands with him. So, you know, but his in-ring ability, bro, hard to match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he's number 5.
Number 5, I would probably go with Stone Cold, just because he's like the most popular wrestler ever, or at least in WWE history.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as you hear that glass break, everybody's going crazy. Everybody. But his career, you know, as far as his career goes, I feel like he could have, if he didn't get hurt, especially with his neck and his knees, he probably would have like stayed a little bit longer. And then, of course, remember, he left earlier, like maybe a year or two prior, over some political nonsense. But, you know, he's an all-time great, and he's probably he's the face of the Attitude Era. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people love the Attitude Era because of him. You know, fighting your boss, drinking beer, throwing up the middle finger, like
what everybody wish they could do.
Exactly. So, yeah, those are my top 5. I gotta keep it a buck.
That's a good top 5. You're the Attitude Era guy.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? So I was having this conversation with, I think it was a coworker. The Attitude Era was really pushing boundaries. Like, I went back and watched some of the old stuff, and you see like some of the stuff we sent in the group chat, right, Jeremy? Where we were like, "Yo, they put that on TV."
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
I like the Ruthless Aggression Era a lot. Like,
same.
It was because I think they focus more on wrestling as opposed to like, all the extra stuff. You know what I mean?
I feel like the Ruthless Aggression Era was more. It was like the perfect balance of like wrestling and character work.
Yes.
I feel like Attitude Era was like all character. Like if you go back and watch the Attitude Era, a lot of those matches, they kind of sucked. Like, yeah, there was some standouts from like the top guys or whatever, but the like 80% of it was just like almost garbage. And that's why
like filler.
Yeah, it was filler. So like whenever people like glorify the Attitude Era to the point where it's just like, oh, I wish it would come back. It's like, no, you don't. You don't wish it would come back. Trust me, you don't. It's just your rose-tinted glasses are making you see things that weren't really there. And plus, you were younger back then, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like with the Ruthless Aggression Era, it was like the perfect blend of like the characters mixed with actual good wrestling.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why I gravitate towards that era more.
Absolutely. And I feel like when it came to Raw and SmackDown, when they did the brand splits, each brand was represented extremely well.
Yes.
Each brand. You know, you had guys
felt like they were at like head to head.
Exactly. So All right, so let's get into our actual WrestleMania this weekend, right?
Well, before that, I mean, we
Okay,
can talk to like go into WrestleMania, but I wanted to
Okay.
talk about our experience with WrestleMania because
Okay,
we
okay.
actually did go to WrestleMania
Oh
once.
yeah.
We went
Oh
to
yeah,
WrestleMania 35. Um, so what what would your overall experience? Because granted, this was before they went to 2 nights, so it was
right before.
a
It was hard.
long day.
Yes, it was.
So what would you say like your overall experience was? Like, was it positive? Was it like mid, negative? What?
Go ahead, Cam. You start.
Yeah, Kim. All right.
Well, I think it was great because I got some AJ Styles gloves. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah,
I got I got that token. No, but for real though, honestly, it really depends on because where we sat initially the first time, where we
Oh yeah.
sat, there was a giant pillar in the way of the ring.
Ah,
So what was it? Was it the Miz versus who?
And
Shane McMahon?
was it Miz versus Shane? I think it was
I think it was
that
Miz versus
year.
Shane McMahon, the first match.
No,
And
that wasn't the first match. The first match was Seth versus Brock.
right. That was the opening
oh,
match. Yes, for the
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
title,
that
no
was it
less.
was. I mean, it was only like 5 minutes, but that was the
That's why I
first.
forgot. Yeah. So there was a giant pillar in the way of like, and it's blocking so many people's view, and it's hard to see. I mean, it's a big stadium, but like those pillars, kind of like every time I see that on TV, I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
feel bad for those people that get blocked. But once we like moved a little bit, then
Yeah.
the
So
show started getting. Yeah, you can explain that
yeah,
part.
we'll just say it. So we
It's
so
been
literally it
5
was
years. You can say it now.
yeah, it's fine. They're not gonna come for us. So it was me and Cam and my other brother Matthew and our cousin Augustine. We were all like in the top row, like nosebleed or whatever. And partway through the Shane McMahon Miz match, who was it? You or was it
Nah, it was Junior.
we call him Junior because he's his father's name is Augustine, so we call him Junior. So like partway through that match, our cousin Junior was just looking. He was just scoping out. I see him looking around. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, in the bottom row. There's seats right there. There's mad seats open. And I was like, okay. He's like, let's do it. Let's go. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're not gonna let us go. So we I think it was you that was trying to like egg me on because I was saying no.
Yeah. No, initially I remember I scouted it out, but he was like really like, yo, we could do this though. I was like, yo, imagine if we did that over there, we could go to those seats. And Junior was like, no, let's go.
Let's
Where
go.
like the giant pillar's in the way, let's go over there. Nobody's
Yeah.
sitting there.
So we went all the way to like the lower bowl. And literally nobody was sitting there. And by some miracle, there was no security that stopped us. Because you know how like they'll stop. You say, oh, where's your seats at? Whatever. And they'll redirect you. There was nobody there. Or maybe there was somebody that just didn't see us because it's like so crowded. So we just sat there and there was nobody there. We sat there the rest of the night.
Yep.
And I think I
WrestleMania
remember
miracle.
because you guys were there. You and who else was with you? It was Steven and
With me?
yeah, with you.
No, I went with my cousins.
Steven wasn't with you?
No,
Oh. Anyway, I remember I was texting you. I was saying, yo, come down. There's seats here.
and I asked my cousin. I was like, "Yo, my friends got seats in the lower bowl, but they didn't want to risk it."
Damn, you should have
They
done
were-
it. It was really good seats. Like, I'll tell you that.
Yo.
I tried to convince them. I was like, "Yo, like they said nobody stopped them. Like, what you think?" I think they were like, "Yo, we black. We can't get away with this." You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? You're kind of right.
You know what it is? It's just you gotta what our cousin was telling is you gotta just go and like with a purpose. Like act like you know where you're going. And
Yeah.
we didn't know where the hell we were. I mean, we were just trying to get to where it said. But yeah, so we definitely got better seats. And honestly, like I'm glad we did that because I was not about to deal with that pillar all night.
Yo. Oh my God. Like how many hours was
Yeah, no,
WrestleMania?
that was and that
Like
was another
7
thing.
hours?
So freaking long.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, the show ran past its time, apparently, right?
It
Yeah.
did.
And I was sitting there, I was just like, because, okay, I might as well just tell my experience now. So when me and my cousins were planning to go, we were, discussing how we're going to get there. And one of my cousins, my cousin Randy, he was like, yo, we could just take New Jersey Transit over there. I was like, that is a terrible idea.
Oh
We need to
man.
drive. We have to drive, because if not, so people who don't know, if you're not from New York or New Jersey or whatever have you, MetLife Stadium is in the middle of nowhere. Like the Meadowlands is in the middle of like farmland, marshland. It's not in an urban area like Yankee Stadium, Madison Square Garden, or Barclays Center or whatever, where you can take reliable public transportation to get there. You have to drive to MetLife Stadium if you want to have a good time. And it's a good thing that we did that. I was like, no, we are driving. Keenan, get your car. We will load up at like 3:00. We'll head across the bridge, and we'll get home when we get home. Okay. But I'm glad that he listened to me, because edit that out. I'm glad that he listened to me, because when you heard the stories of people who got stranded in New Jersey because New Jersey Transit didn't have enough buses and shuttle trains to get from the Meadowlands to Secaucus or whatever have you, people were literally out there till like 4 a.m. without ways to get home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was bad.
It was so bad. And the reason why I knew that was going to happen, you know why? Because the same thing happened at the Super Bowl like 2 years prior to that.
Really?
Remember, we also had the Super Bowl, I think it was Super Bowl 38 or 48, Super Bowl 48 with the Broncos and the Seahawks. And same thing happened. The game was a blowout, but nonetheless, New Jersey Transit dropped the ball. They didn't have enough people, they didn't have enough buses, they didn't have enough trains prepared to get all those people out of MetLife. And people were stranded out there till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning with no way to get home. I was like, nope, that is not going to be us. We're driving. And sure enough, it took us a while to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we weren't stranded.
Yeah. It took us like a little bit. I remember because I had to drop everybody off. And after all that, I probably got home like maybe 2 a.m.
See?
But that's still reasonable considering like what we had to go through, or what other people had to go through, rather.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think I had a decent time. It was the first time I'd ever been to MetLife Stadium. I've never been for a football game. I probably never will go. Yeah. Giants aren't worth investing time and money into right now. And the Jets, please. So it was my first time going to that stadium and seeing it in person. It's a nice place. I just wish it was a more convenient location.
Yeah,
but,
that's the thing with like all these, like with the New York area. Like there's no space for like a football stadium, and I feel like they should like invest in something so that way they can have shows actually in New York instead of New York, New Jersey, because that was like the always things like, in the shadow of New York, like that's how they advertised it for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I remember
they didn't
that.
say it was in New Jersey,
which is crazy.
Which is crazy, yeah.
I would be so mad if I was from Jersey and I hear from the shadow of New York. Like, yo, what? It's in New Jersey, bro. What you talking
right? Yeah, but the funny thing is, and I'm telling you right now, going back to the public transfer thing, the World Cup final is going to be at MetLife.
Oh,
it's
for
going
real?
to be,
Wow.
yeah,
boy.
it's going to be a shit show. I'm calling it out. Public transportation is going to be terrible out there. If you want to go, drive.
Get a Uber, or not even an Uber, because I'm there. Yeah, rent a car for a day.
Something, and listen. But I just wish that the show was in a more convenient location. I think the reason why we don't get those kind of shows anymore is because the weather, number one.
That's true.
Weather
and
facts.
I feel like if they were to do another show here, like I feel like SummerSlam, because they usually do SummerSlam at the Barclays, but I feel like now that SummerSlam is becoming a bigger show, They can do it at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium. I mean, I would prefer Citi Field because Yankee Stadium's mad ghetto.
Oh,
Hey, listen, I'm telling the truth. It's mad ghetto.
and you
Let's
think
be
City
honest.
Field's any better?
I have been to Citi Field. I've been to the Arthur Ashe Stadium because actually me and Cam went to an AEW show. It was actually pretty good.
Oh wow, okay.
There was parking there. I mean, granted, it was a smaller show, but
And it's AW.
yeah, and it's AEW. But yeah, so I feel like if they were to do that, then that would be the perfect spot for SummerSlam at least.
I always figured SummerSlam should be in more like a summer kind of city, like Miami or Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
want, if they were to do that, I want them to do it outdoors. I know that's not gonna happen, but I would like them to do it outdoors.
That's what I was saying. Like it should be in more like a city that you would go to in the summer.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like
true.
a summer city. You know what I mean? Like beach vibes and
I mean, it really just depends because now SummerSlam is so big that it's the same as WrestleMania. Like the city's gotta vie for it. Like they gotta basically put out their
like a bid for it.
yeah bid. That's what I meant. So
Okay. Okay. Well,
because this year SummerSlam's in Cleveland, and I don't think of summer.
really?
I don't think of Cleveland, when I
Cleveland?
think Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh,
It
because
was
of
funny
Logan
because-
Paul.
Yeah, because of Logan Paul. I was literally, when they announced that it was Cleveland, I was like, oh, maybe because the kids, they go to their moms for over the summer. I was trying to plan. It's like, oh, I could probably go to SummerSlam, but it's too early. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to plan it out. But anyway, my experience, it's similar to basically every show. Like if it's long, like it doesn't matter how good the quality of the matches are, I'm gonna be freaking tired. So
Yeah.
thankfully there were some points that picked up like during the Kofi match. Think also the main event, obviously, and then there was some matches, I can't remember the card actually. There was some matches that were pretty entertaining.
Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton, right?
It was
or-
AJ.
Oh yeah.
And we missed
AJ
that because
AJ
we were in
versus
the
Jeff?
process of moving.
Yeah.
AJ versus Randy.
Oh, right. There was
And then
Triple H
before
versus
Jeff Hardy was
Batista.
there.
People were complaining because
Oh, yeah.
of the lights. They were like shining in the crowd, and people were complaining that they couldn't
Oh, yeah.
see.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. 'Cause they had like orange and red and yellow lights or something like that,
Yes.
and people couldn't really see. Yeah, it was shining at people. I remember that.
But yeah. What about you, Cam?
What?
No, or did you say already?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
went first.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did go first. Okay, yes. All right, so keeping in tune with the WrestleMania thing. Obviously, the reason why we're doing this episode is because WrestleMania is this weekend. It is 2 nights in Philadelphia. I know Brother Jay is actually going.
Yes, I am.
Oh.
I don't feel bad for your wallet.
For real.
I remember when you showed me
Oh,
how much
man.
you paid for it. I was like, you wanted me to pay that? Hell no.
Well, remember the total price tag was
It's including the trip there and like hotel, right? Is that what you, or no?
no.
No, it's not. Okay, it's even worse.
It's just the tickets themselves, but that's because we also got like field level seats, so it's like
Okay.
we're not up in the nosebleeds like we were
Those-
for 35.
Yeah.
We're actually on the field this time.
Okay.
Oh snap.
Yeah,
I guess that makes it better. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's like right in the center and not in the view of the pillars.
if it is, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be thoroughly upset. But you know what? Luckily for us, I think Ticketmaster does that thing where you can kind of like look at the
You
seat
can
map.
view where it's at. Yeah.
Right. And I don't think that we're in the I don't think it's an obstructed view. That's what it's called. Obstructed view.
Obstructed view. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it is, but I gotta double check it.
You should double check it because.
Maybe on TV?
Are you camera side? Are you camera side?
I don't know. I gotta look at that. I gotta look at the ticket when I go back and look.
Okay. So yeah. So we are not going, me and Cam. So
Yeah.
we're gonna be hosting a little party. Watch party,
Nice.
with the family on Saturday
Okay.
and Sunday.
Okay. What's up? That's what's up.
All right, so I guess we could just get into it. So we don't have to go through the whole card because there were some matches that were added, literally like Monday, and they were kind of just like throwing. That's I think the filler matches. You kind of have to have those, the come down matches after the big ones. So we'll start with night one. I know for sure. I don't have the card in front of me, but I know for sure. One of the big ones is Sami Zayn versus Gunther. So what are your thoughts on that match and the build to it? Start with Brother Jay.
Well, that's the IC title match, right?
Yes.
Well, okay. I think Gunther's gonna retain. He's an unstoppable force. Like I don't see anybody challenging him right now. Like he's been champ for how long? Like 9 or 10 months, right?
No, way longer.
For over a year?
He's like 700 days or something like that.
Shit, that's as long. It's almost as long as Roman. Oh my god.
Yeah, because he was champion at last WrestleMania.
Actually,
was he?
Yeah. He fought Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, I believe.
You're right. That match may have been on the pre-show, right?
It's 660 days.
So basically 2 years. Okay.
Almost 2 years. Yeah,
almost 2 years. Dang.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I can't see Sammy beating him, but I feel like they would just to give him that W, especially coming off of last year's WrestleMania where they closed out night one, winning the tag titles with Kevin Owens. I can see them giving him the belt, but I don't think they will, and I don't think they should. I think I got Gunther winning that championship. I'm winning the match.
Cam, what do you think?
What reason would they have to take the title from him?
That's true.
They have no reason. I agree with you. Honestly, I think Gunther's gonna win. I see him possibly losing either at SummerSlam or before SummerSlam. Maybe at one of the big shows out of the country, but
they're going to Scotland in June, so yeah.
Oh, Clash of the Castle, yeah.
Yeah, right. But honestly, I don't know who, besides Chad Gable, I don't see who beats him. It's not going to be Sami Zayn. Yeah. I honestly think it's going to be Chad Gable eventually, and I hope it is. I don't know what they're going to do with the whole Sami and Chad Gable thing after Mania. I hope they don't turn Chad Gable heel, but I guess we'll see.
That. They just might.
They might.
I really hope they don't.
So I'm with you guys. I think Gunther's retaining. I think if it was Chad Gable going up against him, I would have definitely chosen him. But I feel like if it's Sami, no disrespect to Sami, he already had his moment last year. And if he's gonna have a big title win, it needs to be for the world title. It can't be for the IC title. He's already been IC champion already. So it's like It's like retreading territory. It's like, I know the whole thing is like, oh, you beat Gunther, you ended his reign or whatever. But it's like, I feel like that's not big
enough.
Yeah, he ended, what was the Usos title reign, which was almost as long, like 300 days or something.
And he kicked out of the 1D.
And he kicked out of the 1D, which nobody had before. So it was just, I feel like you can't top that unless it's the world title. So I think Gunther retains just on that. And granted, he's on a roll too. Gunther, he's already he might as well be on the level of like Roman or Seth in terms of like title contention. So I don't know when he's gonna lose it. When he does though, I think you instantly shift him to the main title picture. Maybe against Cody, maybe against whoever beats Seth. I don't know.
Okay, so you kind of just played your hand for the main event, but okay.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Right. No, I get it. We'll get to that.
Even if Roman wins, Gunther's not facing Roman. So anyway, but yeah, so I'm with you. Gunther retains.
Well, here's the thing about when it comes to title matches, right? The key is if they drop the belt to the challenger, right? Can the challenger who becomes champion make that title more relevant or just as relevant as the guy who took it from? Because if you have a terrible reign after this guy who's been reigning for like 2 years now, then
that's true.
We just had you switch the belts for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yep. And I don't
That's
think
also go ahead.
I personally don't think that Sami Zayn can make the title any more relevant than Gunther already has. Like he's a monster. He's a beast. Is Sami going to be a better champion than Gunther? I don't think so. So I don't think they're going to drop it for him.
Yeah. Yeah, the key is to follow through. So
Yeah.
I don't think they can top what they've done with Gunther. It's gonna take someone special to be able to maybe not even replicate it, but just like continue it, you know?
Right. You got to carry it on.
Yeah.
I don't think Sami can do that.
So the next one we'll do is the brother versus brother, Jay versus Jimmy.
Oh yeah. I can't wait for this match.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to this match. I do wish they did more of a build up for it because I feel like it was like only 2 weeks build. Like I really wanted them to like go deep into like their history and their family. I wanted Rikishi to get involved. Like I wanted more out of this story, and I feel like they kind of like everybody knew it was gonna happen, so they kind of just shifted it off to be like, okay, we'll set it up, but they're not gonna really do too much in it because they're focused on, you know, the Roman and Cody and Rock stuff with the bloodline entirely.
Okay.
What are you gonna say, Kim?
I do think that I'm not gonna give away my answer yet, but I do think this won't be the last brother versus brother match between them.
Really?
Oh, no, definitely not. No.
I think it's gonna be like a little 3-match series. I think Rikishi I think he should get involved eventually, but I think it'll come to surface. But
Okay.
I think this is the first match out of a few.
Well, maybe Rikishi is involving, or maybe they asked him to be involved, and he probably was just like, oh, nah, I'm gonna let them, let my son shine a little bit.
I would have said that, but I remember he was posting on, or maybe it was like an interview or something like that, or somebody asked him, and he was like, oh, are you gonna get involved with the whole bloodline stuff? And he's like, I mean, I would like to, because that's a payday. So I think he wants to get involved, but maybe Cam's right. Maybe they're gonna extend this past WrestleMania, and he'll get involved after that.
Okay.
But as for my pick, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just say Jay, because I feel like Jay, he's been on a roll, and who would have thought Jay Uso would rise to main event status of all people?
Of all people.
And especially like after the whole like with Jimmy, because I thought Jimmy was gonna be the one to break out. I don't know why. I just always thought he was like the talker of the group. But yeah, I feel like Jay has done enough to deserve it, and especially once they split them up and they separated them on each brand. If you look at where Jimmy is, he's basically just like Roman's lackey back to like what they were before. Whereas Jay, he's like title contender. Like he was right up there with Seth, right up there with Cody, with all of them. So he's involved. Like he's on their team. So I feel like Jay deserves this win more than Jimmy. But if they're gonna prolong it, then maybe like Jimmy gets his win back later. I don't know. But in terms of WrestleMania, I think Jay got it.
I agree, 100%.
I think Jimmy's gonna win.
Oh.
Okay. I think Jimmy's gonna win.
Oh, you're no yeet. That's why.
I'm team no yeet.
Team no yeet.
I gotta say Jimmy, just because he's been losing and doing nothing, and then doing this for Roman Reigns, team was soloed and doing nothing. I feel like Jimmy is gonna win, and then this is why I say it's a 3-part thing, because I feel like Jimmy's gonna win this, and then Jay's gonna win the other 2 matches, or the other however many matches they have.
So okay, let me ask you this then: you're in the creative writing room, right? Writing the storyline out. How do you plan the next 2 matches after this match at WrestleMania? Like, are there going to be stipulations? Are they going to be like give me how you would write this out?
I think, to be fair, I don't really know exactly how like the Raw after Mania would look like between them. I think they're going to involve Solo, maybe at some point down the road. I think that's the SummerSlam match, to be honest with you. If they even prolong it that far, but I say Jimmy wins.
Exactly.
And Jay can't get over himself because he left the bloodline. Jimmy's trying to I don't know what's gonna happen with the bloodline after WrestleMania as well. So I don't really know how Jimmy's gonna stand after this. But I think it's just eventually gonna Jay's gonna want his lick back. He's gonna want to get his win. And then they're probably gonna go in like an extreme match, like or a ladder match or whatever it is. They're gonna go in more in a hard fought battle match. Because this I agree with Jay, brother Jay or producer Jay. My bad.
Jared.
Yeah, I know, right? That I wish there was more build up, which is why I hope they continue that after this. But yeah,
Okay, all right.
Makes sense. All right, so we'll do like a quick one because I feel like these ones they were like added last minute. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic and Santos Escobar.
Okay, so real fast, that's gonna be my bathroom break on night one.
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty much. I mean,
you better hurry up because everybody's gonna go.
that's the sad part too, because like last year, Ray versus Dominic was like I wanted to see that match.
Yeah, and it was a really good match too.
And it was good too.
Yeah.
But now they're like running it back, or they're adding people to it, and it's just like they literally like last week. That's when they started the build when Dominic interfered in Ray's match.
Damn,
So it's like I don't know. I feel like it deserved a little bit more. I'm sure it'll be entertaining. I'm sure it'll be fun to watch and stuff. They'll do flips and stuff, but there's no stakes. Like
yeah, there's nothing at stake in this match.
Ray already beat him, so it's just like I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess I'll take Ray and Dragon Lee.
I agree.
Actually, I'm actually gonna go with the other way around. Dominic, he's probably looking to get his lick back, like you all talk about. You know, trying to look for his lick back. So
the one thing I can't wait. I agree with you that Ray and Dragon Lee is gonna win. But the one thing that I hope that comes from this, I don't know how, we'll get into that, but I don't know how the tag team match, the Judgment Day is gonna,
okay.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I really hope that Dominic strays from the Judgment Day. If they break up after WrestleMania, I think he's gonna go with Legado del Fantasma.
Okay. That's something
Yeah,
that they could do.
I mean,
they've been kind
I
of
don't know.
planting the seeds, like the Judgment Day is getting pissed off with Dom, and okay, yeah, I could see it happening. Here's another one that they added last minute. The 6-woman tag team match with Damage Control versus Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi.
So I think Damage Control is gonna win, only because since this is Jade Cargill's debut, usually in your first WrestleMania, usually they don't win, especially these days. Like I'm trying to think of who's won their first WrestleMania match in the past 5 years.
Oh,
In the last 5 years,
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey.
Okay, but she's okay. That's one.
It wasn't the last 5 years, but you remember Fandango?
yeah, that's what I said.
He actually did just mention Fandango.
Oh,
But,
I didn't hear him.
But I mean, like someone of prominence, someone like main event status, or someone who's going to be a game changer. Like
AJ?
Jay's going to be he's going to be a
Last 5
game
years.
changer. No, well, AJ didn't win his. But even then, he lost his first match, his first
did?
WrestleMania match. AJ Styles.
Who he faced? Chris
I think
Jericho?
I think it was either Chris Jericho or
Oh.
John Cena.
No, no.
I think it was Chris
He didn't
Jericho.
Yeah.
It may have been Chris Jericho. And he lost.
Did he lose?
Yeah, he lost.
He lost.
Out of all the matches that Chris Jericho's won, yeah, that was one of them. He didn't lose that
Okay.
time.
Who else? I'm trying to think.
I think
I don't-
personally, I feel like because it's a if it was just a regular tag match, I feel like Damage Control would have won. But now that they added the 6-woman, because there's no like risk of them losing the tag titles, I feel like it would be okay for Jade, Bianca, and Naomi to win. Especially
agree.
put over Jade because this is her debut. They're trying to build her as a big star, which she is.
Yes.
But she needs that rub, and in order to get that, you got to get a big win.
I agree.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I've seen it where I've thought like, oh, this is their first WrestleMania. They're gonna be a game changer in the Eve for going forward. And then you turn around like how you lose at how you have them lose at WrestleMania. I think the Usos lost at their first WrestleMania, right?
I have no idea. I don't remember that far. I think I wasn't really watching it. That's.
I think their first WrestleMania was 32 in Dallas.
No, that was a.
Wow,
no way.
No,
you sure?
Yeah, I'm.
They had to
they debuted way before that.
Like 20, I want to say 20.
Their first match though, like on the card, because I remember they were always like on the pre-show.
Oh yeah,
go back and
they were always on the pre-show.
I'm not doing it right now though. All right. Speaking of tag matches, we'll continue. The 6-pack tag team ladder match for the championship. We got Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus DIY or Regeneration X, if you ask R-Truth. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
DX.
Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth. The New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And New Catch Republic with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. So I don't know if you caught this. Now, I caught this after because we actually were at Raw this past week in Brooklyn.
Must have been nice.
It was not. So apparently on commentary, it mentioned very specifically that both titles or both sets of titles must be pulled down in order for the match to end.
Oh.
Yes. So I think they're going to split the titles. One team is going to grab the Raw tag team titles, and the other team is going to grab the SmackDown tag team titles. Who that is, I honestly can't say. It's not going to be Judgment Day. I think they're losing.
Think they're going to lose both titles?
Yeah, they're going to lose both titles. Because I think it's going to set up for something later.
I agree.
If I had to choose, I would probably choose Awesome Truth. Just because of the whole R-Truth storyline with Judgment Day, and they've been bullying him and stuff like that. And, R-Truth is, he's kind of on, like, the latter half of his career. It would be nice to give him a win at WrestleMania. And a title win at that. So I think they grab probably the Raw tag titles. As for the SmackDown ones, I'm not really sure. It could literally be any other team. Just because I like them, I'll say DIY. And they'll move SmackDown.
I also think that DX is gonna win the SmackDown tag team titles. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, But no, I think DIY is also gonna win SmackDown, and Awesome Truth is gonna win the Raw. R-Truth has to grab a championship and then be confused at one point. That just has to happen.
He like grabs the Raw championship and just thinks the match is over.
Or he'll grab a Raw championship and a SmackDown championship and be like, yay!
Right?
Yeah, I think I can see what that happening. So yeah, R-Truth and Miz probably win one set, and maybe I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Damage Control keeps their SmackDown championship.
Damage Control?
I mean, not.
You mean Judgment Day?
Yes, Judgment Day. That.
Okay. I can see that happening. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's see what else here. All right, so next match is Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Oh, this one's gonna be fire. That might be the best match of the night. I'm calling it.
Match of the night.
I'm calling it. That's gonna be the best match of the night. I guarantee it.
And Rhea Ripley has I know she hasn't been wrestling too much because she's that much of a star. She's kind of like Roman essentially, except she shows up more. But she doesn't have to wrestle because she's already put in the work, and her persona, her character, her promos, they get over. People just want her on TV. They don't necessarily want to see her wrestle. I mean, obviously, they do. They don't have to.
They don't need to see her wrestle to be entertained by her. Right.
Because she's already proven herself. Especially with her match with friggin' Nia Jax. She got a good match out of Nia Jax. Like that's
and then get hurt.
and didn't get hurt. Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be very exciting. I'm 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 still kind of
Slobber
torn on
knocker.
who I would want to win. Like
I got an interference coming.
an interference.
Yeah, I got an
By
interference.
by who?
That bitch herself.
Naya?
No,
Ronda
Ronda's
Rousey.
gone.
Who did Rhea win the title from? Charlotte. I think Charlotte's coming back.
No, Charlotte. Well, I think she's still recovering.
She might be on it. She might be fixed by now. I don't know. When's the last time we heard from her? Like 4 months ago.
Been a minute.
She might
That's
be coming
true.
back. Want her lick back from last year. Rhea's been
Mhm.
champ since last year. She might want her lick back. Might cost her the title. And Becky, listen, Becky is on a war path because Rhea been talking spicy.
See-
about her daughter.
Yeah. See,
Pulled
that's
up
the
to the-
thing.
Yeah, I'm
Becky.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, remember, she pulled up to the
The
that-
interview.
right and wanted to fight. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
I don't know. She might be on one.
No, Becky's been putting in the work. That's why I'm so torn because I like Rhea Ripley, but Becky has been putting in the work the past few weeks, the past few months actually. Like
Yeah.
being able to like not headline, but like put on great matches on Raw and on the pay-per-views and stuff like that. And it's one thing, and this goes to like overall like WWE currently, like her feuds with like so many different people, with Nia, with Rhea, with Liv, and it's like I like that. I like the intertwining storylines and how people are feuding with the other people, not necessarily just one person at a time. And that's one thing that I really like about today's WWE. It's something that they used to do in the Attitude Era, where everybody was feuding with everybody, and it's like the storylines intertwine, and it made for interesting like combinations and stuff. That's how I feel about Drew.
Oh yeah,
He's
this
feuding with everybody. He's feuding with Punk. He's feuding with Seth. He's feuding with Jay. He's feuding with who else? Cody. It's like he's feuding with Damian Priest. Yo, he's feuding with everybody.
Yo, especially
I remember
Damian
he called him
Priest,
a
bro.
freaking idiot
Oh
when
my
he tried
gosh.
to cash in. It's like, yo, like why not wait till after the match? Makes sense. But if I had to choose, I'd go with the tried and true because Becky Lynch, for all her accomplishments, she's on her way out. Not in terms like, she's gonna retire soon, but she's on the downtrend. Rhea she's at her peak, and I feel like you kind of gotta keep her there. The only problem with that is who's next? Like after Becky.
and I think that's why you keep it on Rhea, because remember what I said with Sami Zayn. It's like, okay, if you're gonna change the title, the next person has to be worthy of the title. You know what I'm saying? And if not Becky, like you said,
and then who? Yeah.
Because you're not gonna give it to Nia. You're not gonna give it to Bailey's hurt, right?
No, she's the match.
Is she part of the Damage Control match?
Yes. Well, no, she's not in that match.
No,
She's
she's
facing
facing
Io
Io
Sky.
Sky.
But that's on night.
Right. So, I mean, you're not gonna give it to Jade yet. Not yet.
Yeah,
she's coming. She's coming for it soon.
Yeah, no.
But if not Becky, then who? So therefore, you keep it on Rhea.
Yeah.
But like I said, Charlotte might make an appearance and cost her the title. I don't. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
I think Rhea is also going to retain, but I think who is Bianca Belair? They haven't fought, and they're both the top.
You gotta save that for next WrestleMania. I feel like,
but that's what I mean. Like the person to take it off her is Bianca. I don't want her to go right into that, but that's the next person to be her.
I feel like
that's the only other person I can see. Because Jade Cargo's not ready, like you said. You don't got any but Tiffany Stratton is not ready.
She's coming up, but she's not ready yet.
Nobody in Damage Control, because we'll get into that match. But I don't think anybody from Damage Control is winning. Naomi's not winning. Nia Jax is not
Nia
winning.
Jax already had her chance,
So yeah, so it's got to be Rhea retains, and I don't know what happens after that, but Bianca Belair is gonna take it from her. If not her, then Charlotte when she
she's gonna
returns.
cash in her Charlotte in the Bank.
Yes, that's exactly what she's gonna do.
basically.
Come in, I gotta.
Her flair isn't fair.
All right, so we got the main event of night 1, the Bloodline, The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins.
Can I just say, I did not know that all this was going to happen when we bought the tickets, but god damn it, I'm so happy that it is because honestly, the first WWE show that I went to was one of the holiday tour shows back in 2015.
Yeah.
So I never got to see any of my heroes wrestle. You know what I'm saying? I never got to see The Rock wrestle. I never got to see Undertaker wrestle. I've seen him in person.
Yeah.
I've seen him live, but I never actually got to see him in a wrestling match. Never got to see I did see Triple H WrestleMania 35. Never got to see Stone Cold. Never got to see any of those guys wrestle. The fact that I'm actually going to be able to see The Rock wrestle live for the first time in my life, even though he's going to be like 50 something years old, you know what I mean? Well into his career, I'm actually very excited for it. Win or lose, I'm actually very excited.
Yeah, so am I. They've done a masterful job at building this storyline,
bro.
I'm gonna say they almost ruined it because of the whole Rock coming in and stealing the main event from Cody. So I was actually listening to it was a podcast. I forgot who it was though. But basically they were saying that the original story was supposed to be Cody versus Roman. And that was where they were going. But then The Rock came in and was just like, let's do Rock and Roman. And they were going to go with that. Obviously, we saw what happened. He just stepped in and Cody gave it to him. But to Triple H's credit and to WWE as a whole, they listened to the reaction because literally it happened on Friday and then they let it fester the whole weekend. And throughout the whole weekend, that's all you saw, just we want Cody. And then, I mean, obviously there was like we want Rocky and stuff like that, but that was not a thing. So they took that feedback, and I'm so happy that they were able to pivot the way they did. It was a little bit rocky, no pun intended, because they had to explain, and they kind of did, kind of didn't, why Cody gave away his main event against Roman to Rock. And
what was their reasoning?
The reasoning was that Cody said that basically Rock talked him into it. And I felt like that wasn't good enough. I felt like maybe Rock had promised him, like, I'll get you next or something like that. Like, once I beat him or something like that, you got next or whatever. But, like, it was kind of like wishy-washy. I didn't like it. But they pivoted and they went back to Cody and Roman. And honestly, I feel like they've been pushing more of a Rock versus Cody match than Rock versus Roman. Especially with how Rock has been. He's been around more than Roman at this point as a part-timer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it makes me want to see that match, and hopefully we'll get that. I mean, I don't know Rock's schedule. I know he's like filming a movie like right after this, and it depends on if he gets hurt as well. Because last time he had a match, he got hurt.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But he said, granted, he said he was like training for this. So let's see if that training paid off. But yeah, I feel like this storyline has been like, it got me back into it. Like like I was kind of like on and off. I would tune in. I would listen to my podcasts about what happened in Raw and SmackDown and stuff. But I was never really watching. But this storyline got me back in. So I'm watching every week, Raw and SmackDown. I even got Natalie into it. Got the kids into it. And it's just like everybody is like around me. Cam he's getting back into it. My cousin, Junior, we spoke about earlier, he's getting into it. So it's like it's all coming to like a crescendo at WrestleMania. It's like I can't wait. I'm so hyped to see this match, even if it's like a freaking like what is it? Train wreck. It's gonna be entertaining either way. But
Yeah, for
in
sure.
terms of who I think is winning, I think Rock and Roman are winning because I think it just adds more to the story for night 2, and you got to stack the deck against Cody because now like you got to push that envelope in terms of like the adversity that he's been facing, and I mean you made it all this way, you might as well push it as far as you can go. And once Cody gets that win, which I already said it, I played my hand. Cody's winning. He has to. But yeah, I feel like it's going to lead to that moment, and it's going to make that moment much sweeter. It's going to be a clusterfuck. I feel like, I mean, we'll get to it once we get to the match, but yeah, I feel like in order to get there, you have to have Rock and Roman win. With Rock getting the pin on Cody. If they do plan on having Rock versus Cody, you have to have that happen. Because you could say, because then you could go back and say, oh, yeah, you beat Roman, but you didn't beat me. And there you go.
Okay, Cam.
That is true. No, I agree with you. To be honest, I think it's bloodline rules. I think that Roman and Rock is gonna win. You know, it has to be. They already set the bloodline rules. They already showed it on Monday. They're gonna have it. Like, yeah, it's basically Solo's gonna come out in his hoodie. Jimmy Uso's gonna come out in his hoodie and mask. Jey Uso might come out and like save whatever, you know. Bloodline is gonna take over, and I think that they're gonna lose. Seth and Cody's gonna lose. I do also think that Roman might pin Cody.
Think Roman's gonna pin Cody?
No.
Sorry.
The Rock is gonna pin Cody. I think that's gonna hopefully be also a SummerSlam
Rock
match.
and Cody?
So that'll be great. Yes,
I feel like that
hope
could
so.
be a big match.
I'm getting in my Drew McIntyre bag. I'm praying for this. It has to.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let me just crystallize all this for me, right? So I was with you at the beginning where you said, you know, first it was going to be Rock and Roman, because when he said is Rock going to sit at the head of the table, we were all like, oh snap, it's really happening. Because remember, there were rumors for it last year.
It was,
and
yeah.
it was supposed to be Rock and Roman at WrestleMania, but it didn't happen. It was supposed to happen this year, right? But like you said, you know, kudos to WWE for pivoting when they saw that, you know, the reaction from the fans, because I feel like if Vince was in charge, he would have just stuck.
Oh yeah, we would have had Rock and Roman. Like
we would have had Rock and Roman.
Cody would have been on the freaking the curtain jerker of night 1 if Vince had his way.
So I feel like, you know, kudos to, and I don't know how much. See, this is why wrestling is so good now, because it was like, yo, when you saw the press conference and you see the subsequent events, you don't know if they're really pissed at each other or is this all part of the story?
They're blurring the lines.
They're blurring the lines so good that it's like, yo, and usually Rock is cursing on live TV, and it's like, then you saw the after show clip last week.
Oh yeah,
where he was beating up Cody, and he was like, nah, fuck all that. I'm not done. Like, what y'all doing? I'm not done. You know? So it's like, for all of that, I think that, number one, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think Rock is doing his best work.
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. At least the best work in the last 20 years.
Oh, well, it's Hollywood Rock. Everybody still loves Hollywood Rock. But I think
there's levels above that.
I think this is way, like, there's a reason why he's calling himself the final boss. Like he is on one.
Yeah.
And he's putting in so much work, and it's entertaining as hell. And he's bringing us back to the Attitude Era where he was going off on people.
And you know what I appreciate is because we honestly haven't seen this side of The Rock. Because if you think back to his heel days before, he was always cracking jokes and like making light of his opponents and stuff like that. Yeah, he would get serious in the match, but this is like essentially like monster Rock. Like he's like brutal. He'll make a few jokes here and there, but it's like for the most part, like he's serious. And I like that. We haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
Right. Like he is a legitimate asshole right now.
Yes.
And it's fucking
Yeah.
great.
And I like that he leans into it, because if it wasn't for like not the same old Rocky promo, like freaking duty diaper, like so like the corny ass lines that he used to do as a face. But the gloves are off.
The gloves
in.
That's the best way you put it. The gloves are coming off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like we said before, we can't tell if they're being like when he beat up Cody. I don't know if that was like an acting job, or like he was really like going in on him.
Yeah.
Cursing at him, he's spitting in his face, and then he whipped him with the belt.
That could have been part of like maybe once they did the whole pivot, like over the weekend, they probably sat down and they say, okay, we're going to go back to Cody versus Roman. We'll involve you somehow in this and that. I'm going to turn you heel. And he was probably being like, okay, if we're going to do this,
then we got to go all the way.
We got to go all the way. We got to break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And like I said before, blur the lines, make people believe that this is like for real. And
right, especially because, not to cut you off, but especially because he was doing those side interviews where he's talked about the Cody crybabies, and talking about how Cody's sticking his nose, bringing his mother into this, and this and the third, and then the press conference that they had was just like, it was, they really like. I agree with you. He probably said, "Yo, we got to go all the way if I'm gonna go heel, and we got to turn this out."
Yeah.
But as far as the match goes, I think, like we said, Rock and Roman will probably win, because it's like thinking about, come on, y'all really gonna bring The Rock back to lose at WrestleMania? Come on,
that's
like
I don't like, if you think about it, if he did face Roman, Roman's not losing to Rock.
I don't know, dude. Like, you got.
Roman got to win that match.
Even if Roman's like a part-timer now, he's still the guy that's around. He's the champion. You're not going to have Rock come in, take the champion, and then bounce. I mean, that's what Roman's going to do anyway.
That's true. But if that was the original plan and Roman was supposed to win, where does that leave him with him versus Cody?
Well, yeah, then they would have had to do that later.
Oh, or...
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get to
that, I guess.
But yeah, I think Rock and Roman win night 1, and it'll trickle over into night 2, which we're going to get into now.
Yes, so let's go to night 2.
Yeah.
We have, and I think, I don't know if they said it or not. I think this is going to open the show. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
Oh, this match is going to be fun.
Now, so here's the thing. I think, now I would have done the order differently. Or no, actually no, it still works out. Okay, so I think Cody or Seth is going to get frustrated, and he's gonna get quote unquote injured again. Like, they're gonna play up that he got injured during the match with Cody and Rock and Roman. And that's going to play a part into this match, where he's going to be not 100%. And it's going to be, because if you remember one of the promos Drew cut, he was saying, you're not focused. You're too busy with the bloodline stuff. You're not focused on me. I want you at 100%. And you doing this side stuff is gonna cost you. And Seth didn't listen. And I think that's going to play a factor. Seth's going to be not 100%. And I think ultimately Drew wins the title.
Oh.
Because it also, this was also predicated on the fact that Drew would resign, because supposedly he hasn't resigned yet with WWE. But they released the poster for Clash at the Castle.
And he's on it.
And he's on it. They wouldn't put him on it if he still wasn't resigned.
Right.
So, and it's in
Scotland.
Hometown.
Right.
So they got to put the title on him and have him go in as the title as the World Heavyweight Champion. And yeah, so I think that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, I can see that happening because I don't think. First of all, I prefer. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I'm
Also,
really not a fan of.
before you go on, CM Punk will play a factor in this too because he is going to be on commentary.
And
That's actually where me and Cam will benefit because we will actually be able to hear him. You won't. But
he's probably gonna cost Seth the title.
He'll probably get involved somehow. I don't know if he'll cost him the match, but he'll get involved somehow.
I think he'll cost him. Because we know that that's the real rivalry right there. That's the real beef. Because we all know that when Punk came back, Seth Rollins was legitimately not happy.
Yeah.
Like legit. Like he was pissed off that he came back, as were a lot of people. But I think that'll help, like putting the belt on Drew McIntyre, who since becoming a heel has been doing some fantastic work.
Oh my gosh.
He's on one as well. And even his social media use, bro.
And to think that he wasn't the original plan. It was supposed to be Seth versus Punk.
Exactly.
And
things changed.
He slotted right in and he took the ball and ran with it. Like, I've never seen this side of Drew before, and he shot up to like the top again. I mean, he was at the top before, but now he's at the top again, and his promo work is like on another level.
A whole nother level.
I know he was the chosen one, man.
As he is, yes. Because he got robbed with the whole pandemic because he was supposed to originally win in the stadium for WrestleMania 36, but because of the pandemic, it kind of got sidetracked and he won at the Performance Center. But I think this is his moment now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think, like I said, they're going to put the belt on him so that way he can go to Scotland with the title, like you said. But they want to push Seth and Punk now. And that's why I think CM Punk is probably going to cost him the title, and that way they can finally shift on their rivalry, and that'll develop into something else. Now the question becomes, who do they challenge with Drew?
I think there's a bunch of people that Drew could challenge or challenge Drew.
Yeah, can.
Honestly, I think that well, I also think that Drew is gonna win. But I think that the first person that CM Punk is gonna face when he comes back is Drew. And he said that. He was like, yo, when I come back, I'm the first person
I feel like that could be a SummerSlam.
Into Drew.
The three of them?
Exactly. I feel
not the three of them, just Punk and Drew.
Yeah, I believe just Punk and Drew as well. Maybe the three of them another time. I don't know when, but that'll be a great match. But I think just Drew and
I can see them
CM
three
Punk
getting into it because remember, Drew injured Punk, you know, at the Royal Rumble. And then there's already a budding rivalry between the three of them, and each one beefing with the other. I think there's something there. It's just they gotta plan it accordingly.
A triple threat wouldn't be bad. I feel like that could work. I would prefer a singles.
Okay.
Maybe you could do that like at a Survivor Series or something, or another big show.
I respectful.
That wouldn't be bad.
Now, another issue, not an issue, but another thing to consider is what we talked about before, Damian Priest, because he is Money in the Bank.
Oh.
There is a possibility that he can cash in after the match. I don't know if he'll succeed or he'll fail, but I feel like it's coming down to the wire because when is Money in the Bank? It's like next month, right? Or not? Next month. In May?
It might be in June. It's usually June is Extreme Rules. I'm sorry.
No, Clash of the Casuals in June.
But they usually do more than one pay-per-view a month. But remember, whatchamacallit is part of the Big Four now. The Big Five, I should say. Money in the Bank. It might be in July. When is Night of Champions?
Yeah. I haven't paid attention.
We'll look into that.
They change it around every year, so it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
But
I think the thing that CM Punk is gonna do in the match, he could, be in cahoots with Damian Priest, and he could cost Drew once he wins. he could cause Drew and knock him out or do something, and then Damian Priest cashes in and wins the title.
See, the problem with that is,
But-
though, and
But Clash at the Castle, I don't know.
with Damian, I don't think he's ready.
I don't think he's ready either, to be honest
Like,
with you.
he has all
think
the
you're right.
makings. Like, he has the size. He has decent promo work. He's a decent wrestler in the ring. But just for some reason, I just can't see him there.
I think it's because there's so many, like, Drew's so much better than
everything.
Damian Priest.
Then maybe they would wait till Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
Or
They could.
Drew
They could
defends
wait.
maybe against Seth again, like a rematch, and then Priest cashes in, and then you go with that feud.
I don't know what they're gonna do with
He
Damian
has to do
Priest.
something before Money in the Bank,
don't
or
know.
else he got it for a whole year.
He needs to
Or
cash
he
in
could
on.
cash
on,
in on Cody Roman.
on
He's
Money.
not doing that. That's not
You
gonna
never know. Yo,
I-
Nah.
we never thought that Seth would cash in on Brock Roman, but that's what happened. It's WrestleMania.
I doubt it. He could, but I
You
doubt it.
never know. You never know. Just throwing it out there.
It's a possibility.
It's
Yeah.
a possibility.
You're right. It's a possibility. So wait, Jay, what'd you say?
Oh, I got Drew winning.
Drew? All right, so we all said.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so next
Yeah.
matches we got Io Sky versus Bailey.
Bailey.
I think Bailey
Bayley.
needs her moment. All the other 4 horsemen women got their moment, and Bailey needs it. And she's
been-
always what happened?
She's been injured a couple WrestleManias,
She
right?
was injured. Yes. I think literally as soon as they got back to crowds, she got injured. She was out
Right.
for a whole year.
So was it her shoulder or was her leg?
It had to have been her leg. 'Cause I feel like she wouldn't have been out for anything else. Usually when it's like a leg injury, like a what is it?
The ACL tear?
ACL or MCL or meniscus or anything
Or-
like that. It's usually like a longer recovery time. But yeah, I
Yes.
got Bailey with this one.
And Bailey 100%. No
Next
question.
match is LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Bathroom break.
Yeah.
Bathroom break.
What?
It sucks. I kind of agree. I don't want to say that about an AJ Styles
Oh.
match, but I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't get the hype around LA Knight.
Me neither. I
I'm not saying
Oh,
he's
man.
bad. I'm not saying I hate him. I'm
Just
not
say-
saying all that.
it just doesn't do it for me.
I don't get it. I don't get
Yeah,
why
it
people
just-
like him so much. Cam, go ahead. You explain because I feel like you're
Please drop some gospel on us, please.
I can't drop some good. No, but damn, man, you don't see LA Knight, man. He. I feel like every time he's on the mic, it's not one time where he's got me like, you know what I'm saying? Every time he's on the mic, I feel like LA Knight is cooking on the mic. Even in the beginning when he was first getting like exposure against like the Miz, even before the Miz, like when he was like, you know, when he was in his other gimmick and was it Max
Dupree,
Dupree? He even then he was kind of cooking, but I didn't see it back then. But now I kind of see it. I'm like, oh damn, it's LA Knight, and he got the crowd chants. I feel like if he was there on Raw, I feel like everybody would have went crazy. Just how they went crazy with like CM Punk chants, even though he wasn't there. You know, I feel like everybody goes crazy when LA Knight is
See?
there, and especially with the whole.
So
What
you
happened?
think SmackDown's holding him back?
He'll be.
Honestly, I don't know when they're gonna do the draft, but I would like him. I would like
Sure.
him to be on Raw. That would be, I feel like, a good thing for him. Maybe he could go after the IC title. Whoever gets it, whoever has it after WrestleMania. I mean, obviously, I think it's gonna be Gunther, but I think LA Knight versus Gunther could be a match. I don't think he'll win, which I don't know. I'm kind of iffy about. Like, kind of sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. But it'll be a good feud for him. And there's a bunch of Raw superstars that could go crazy for LA Knight. And I think he should have been in the U.S. title match, in my opinion.
A lot of people
He should have
think that,
been
yeah.
the U.S. title match. But I see why. Another thing with Chad Gable, I forgot to mention this earlier. I think they didn't have Chad Gable win the tournament or the gauntlet match because I think they want Chad Gable to win if he's gonna go against Gunther.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you put Sami Zayn in there, you could have Sami Zayn take the L, and then at a later date have Chad Gable win.
The story is
but
still
if Chad
there,
Gable goes to win, exactly. So I think with LA Knight and Logan Paul, I think that match. I think
AJ.
Sorry. No. I think if that match were to happen, Logan Paul versus LA Knight, I think LA Knight would win that match.
Yeah. Honestly,
which is why.
Yeah, you know what? They probably should have done that match because Logan Paul's very hateable, and if anybody could get over against Logan Paul, like
it'd be LA Knight.
We'd be going for LA Knight.
Absolutely, yeah. Knight. In that case, I would definitely root for LA Knight.
But
I feel like he should have been that guy. But I mean, I'm not 100% on board with the whole AJ storyline. I like what they did with the whole outside brawl thing and the police pulling up and all that. But that's all I have to say about it.
I'll just say this.
Okay.
Even though, I mean,
I'll watch it.
I said AJ's my guy. I think because LA Knight, even though LA Knight is not that much younger than him, LA Knight's the new guy. He's gonna win. Yeah. I'll say LA Knight wins.
I give it to LA Knight.
Is this his first WrestleMania?
LA Knight, yeah.
Okay, so they'll probably give it to him. Like he's not one of those game changer dudes, but he's over with the crowd. He's over with the fans.
He could use the win. AJ, he doesn't lose anything by losing.
Exactly. AJ loses nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And he doesn't gain anything for winning either.
True. Yeah, he's just holding down LA Knight.
Exactly. So
anyway. Next match. We got Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. This is gonna be a fun match. I said before Logan Paul's very hateable. On a personal level, I don't like him. I think he's an egomaniac. I think he's self-centered. I think he's a freaking scammer, and
him and his brother,
but we're not talking about
both very dislikable people.
Yeah, he's an asshole, but damn it, he's a fucking entertaining wrestler. So he plays his part very well as what I just said. So I think this match is gonna be fun for that reason. Like he just gets it for whatever reason, he just got it, and I think Randy and Kevin Owens will be able to play off of that. As for who wins, that's a tough one. You guys go. Brother Jay, you go first. I gotta think about this one.
Okay, so first let's just give Logan Paul his credit because he's a celebrity who actually takes the art and the craft seriously.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's an outside celebrity who came in, saw what they did, and didn't think, oh, I could do this. It's easy. No, he actually took the time to learn the craft, perfect it, and is now found some success. A la Bad Bunny, same thing. Took the time to learn the craft, and respects the craft.
It's interesting too because, like you said, Bad Bunny, he took the time to learn it, and he put on a decent, well, not even decent, very very good match.
Yes.
At Backlash last year.
Yes, he did.
But he was also a fan.
Right.
So that added to his want to perform on a higher level. Logan was not a fan. He didn't grow up with wrestling. He didn't even know anything about it when they brought him in. So the fact that in the time that he came in to now, he just got it from knowing nothing about it. Is a really
it's remarkable.
It is remarkable.
So I give him credit for that, and he's actually doing the United States Championship justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being the mid-level tier championship, he's actually doing pretty well with it. As far as the match goes, I think I want Randy to win because I feel like Randy is one of those unsung heroes of WWE right now, where he's been around the block. I think Randy's been with the company for 20 something years now, right? Like 22 or 23 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was gone for what, a year and some change with the neck injury and the shoulder in or whatever it was with his back or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think he deserves the win. I want him to win for those reasons. I feel like, it would be the company saying, thank you for your service type shit.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, I really don't think he needs it. He won at WrestleMania last year in a big moment. I think,
and then the year before, he freaking faced
Stone Cold. It's like he's not like he's had his moments already.
Yeah,
so he doesn't really need to win, but I know he's gonna put on the show because Kevin Owens is actually very interesting. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Randy.
Okay. Cam.
Well, I'm gonna go with Logan Paul for what I said earlier. I think if Logan was gonna lose, I think LA Knight would have been in there. But I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest. But I think since LA Knight is not in there and he's with AJ, I think LA Knight is gonna retain. And he's also on the cover of SummerSlam.
Logan, yeah.
Which
Okay.
Yeah. And it's in Cleveland. And I'm pretty sure he's from Cleveland or Ohio or somewhere.
Yeah, he's from Cleveland.
So I think so I think he's gonna stay champion
through SummerSlam.
It could be it could be Randy Orton wins and then Logan gets it back, but I don't see that happening. I don't see him, I see Kevin Owens taking the pin, but I don't see him beating Randy Orton. So I think he's just gonna keep it until SummerSlam probably.
I'm gonna go with that too. I feel like there's more you can do with Logan winning. Like you said, if maybe after this he can feud with LA Knight. With Randy, that he would be a good choice, but it's like, where do you go from there? I feel like Logan holding on to it, especially after the work he's put into it, then it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Real quick, because I forgot to mention, so since Brother Tay is not here, he did give his predictions for some of the matches.
He did?
He put them in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So real quick, he said he has Roman and Rock winning day 1 or night 1, and Cody winning night 2. He says he has Jay winning, he has Drew winning, and then for the tag team titles, that they'll split it between Awesome Truth and another team, which is what we said essentially. He didn't really go to the other matches though.
Okay, I see it now.
Anyway, we'll go into the other matches because the next match is another bathroom break. If you got it, apparently they're called the Pride. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
Yes.
Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. I had no idea they were called the Pride.
Yeah.
I was actually joking about with Natalie because I was like, in my mind, if you don't have a team name, you're not a real team.
Okay, that's I can respect that. I guess Edge and Christian would be an exception.
Okay, that's the exception to the rule.
Okay.
Because I feel like you have to have a name if you're going to be an actual tag team.
I'm trying to think.
That's true.
Because Kane and Undertaker had Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
Even the Rock and McFoley had a tag team name.
Yeah, Rock and Sock Connection. Stone Cold and Triple H with a power trip.
Right. Yeah, you might be right.
New Age Outlaws.
Yeah. Who was Kurt Angle's boys?
Team Angle.
The World's Greatest Tag Team.
Thank you.
World's Greatest Tag Team, but they were also together Team Angle.
Right. Right. That's right.
Oh yeah.
Even the New Day.
See?
Okay, yeah. Okay, you're right. If you don't have
they don't count if they don't have a team name. So I was at
Austin Theory and
A-Town Down Under. Hi, see?
I thought
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Okay.
DIY.
Yeah,
Awesome Truth.
Awesome Truth. Rated RKO. Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You're not a real team unless you got a name. Anyway, they're called the Pride. Yeah. And then they got the Pride versus the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, Akam, and Razor, and with Akam and Razor, or whatever they call him. Like I said, this is a bathroom break for me.
It's so much of a bathroom break. I forgot Bobby Lashley was wrestling.
He wasn't. They literally last SmackDown they announced it. It wasn't even announced actually. It was like they had a thing. Karrion Kross came out and attacked him, and then that was it.
No, but I mean,
they announced it on social.
But I mean, like, I thought I forgot that he was on the active roster. Like, I thought that he was out injured or something because he's just been so invisible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
he's been on SmackDown doing this.
Okay, fair. But
he deserves better though. Honestly,
he does.
I think he's WWE champion, bro. Like,
dude. But there's just not enough room for him at the top right now. Like,
bro,
you can't inject him into the title matches. You can't inject him into any of the other storylines. There's nothing else for him.
That's the thing with like WrestleMania. Like the build starts like 6-7 months ahead of time. So if you're not involved, then that's it.
It starts at the Royal Rumble. Real fast. I saw this post, right? And there was somebody who was talking about WrestleMania, and they were trying to make an analogous to other sports fans, so that way they can understand what's going on. Yeah. And they were like, basically, WrestleMania is like the Super Bowl. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The rest of the years are like the regular season, but the Royal Rumble is like the playoffs. It's like the start of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that actually makes a lot of sense when you break it down like that, because WrestleMania season starts with the Royal Rumble. So
yeah.
So when you said that these things start in like 6-7 months in advance, I'm like, yeah, sounds about right, because
I'm talking about like in terms of planning though. Like
right.
It starts before the Royal Rumble. So like if you're not at the top level or at least rising to the top, they're not gonna include you in any plans in terms of like the title picture.
True. Very true. I can agree with that. But I think I don't even know. There's gonna be a bathroom break.
Yeah, I'll just say.
Yeah,
I'll say Bobby Lashley
really
because he was supposed to have a match last year at WrestleMania against Bray Wyatt, but because he had his health issues, they nixed those plans. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I'll say Bobby Lashley and Street Profits take the win in a Philadelphia street fight.
I can say that. Okay. I mean, I also take the Street Pride or the Pride.
Yeah,
Pride.
I mean, I don't really know, to be honest, but I'll take them.
Jay?
Over the Final Testament.
Yeah,
Pride.
Yeah. I'm gonna be in the bathroom for all 5 minutes of this match.
Okay.
Or online getting food.
So now we got the main event of night 2. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So continuing what I said before regarding Seth Rollins. So like I said also like I said, this is going to be a clusterfuck. I think there's going to be a ton of interferences. Jay's going to come out. Seth is going to come out. But I think Seth is actually, he's not going to cost Cody. He's going to attempt to cost Cody. He's going to turn on Cody. Because he's going to blame Cody for making him lose. Granted, it was his own fault, but, heels never really make any sense anyway. Well, most of them do.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in a fit of rage that he lost because of interfering with the Cody stuff.
Seth is a heel in all of this?
No, he's not. He's going to be a heel is what I'm saying. He's kind of like a tweener.
He's an anti-hero right now.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
He's not good, but he's not bad.
Okay.
So,
because I'm like, it's clear that Rock and Roman are the heels here.
Yes.
But Seth, I don't know, Seth was giving me heel vibes. I think because everybody sings along with his theme song, that's what makes him so likable.
Yeah.
But he gives me heel vibes.
He does.
But that's just me.
Especially when they were first starting the whole Punk storyline, Punk was the face.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he was giving off a little bit of heel vibes in there, but they obviously changed that.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I think he's gonna turn on Cody. But Cody's gonna have backup in the sense that I feel like John Cena is gonna interfere because he has beef with Solo because Solo beat him. Was that SummerSlam? One of those matches.
No, it was the Saudi Arabia shows. I think Crown Jewel.
Anyway, kind of has beef with Solo, and then we got Jay. Obviously, he takes out Jimmy, and then obviously it comes down to Rock and Roman against Cody, and then I think Stone Cold is gonna come out to even the odds and take out Rock.
For what?
Why not? It's WrestleMania 40.
But for what? I don't see.
All right. If you think about what Rock has been doing lately, he's basically doing the greatest hits. He's been doing Hollywood Rock. He's been doing the Rock concert. He's been doing the jokes, the Cody Crybaby stuff. Like, he's basically giving Rock's greatest hits. And if you're gonna do Rock's greatest hits, you gotta have his greatest rival, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I don't see the.
And they had that thing on the truck.
He's not going to play a major factor. He's just going to even the odds. He's not going to help Cody win. He's just going to even the odds because it's going to be Bloodline rules. Everybody's going to be out there. And it's going to be Rock and Roman left after Jay and Cena take out Jimmy and Solo.
I'm trying to see it. I'm just trying to see the Stone Cold aspect of it all, and I don't see the point. Like, they're not gonna have another match. Like, if you're gonna do something like that,
no, it doesn't have to. Like I said, it's literally just to even the odds.
But for what? Why would you have Stone Cold come out and attack The Rock if you're not gonna have those two roll over into something after WrestleMania?
I mean, Rock is not going to be around anyway.
So, again, that begs the question: why bring out Stone Cold then?
To even the odds? Like,
no, I don't. There has to be ramifications for that. If Rock is just going to disappear after that, and
I would have said Triple H, but obviously he can't for health reasons.
We do not want to see him get zapped on live TV. We do not want to see it.
I mean, it's just like when the NWO came out against Triple H versus.
But they actually had a whatchamacallit in the match, a stake in the match. Those were teammates of those men. You know what I mean?
Actually, it was
NWO was rocking with Sting.
No, they were not.
No,
Sting was like the ultimate like rival against the NWO.
So then, what was the purpose of them coming out? And then them
to even the
odds.
No, that was mostly a WCW versus WWE thing.
Okay, see, there's actually meat to that.
But I just said, like, Stone Cold is Rock's greatest rival.
But why would he interfere in his match? Well, not even his match, but why would he just to even? I don't see the point in that, and I don't think
get a pop. That's the point. If you really want to get down to brass tacks, it's to get a pop. Like I said, I feel like it's gonna be overbooked. It's gonna be a clusterfuck, but you got to because this is probably the biggest WrestleMania main event in the last at least 10 years.
Yeah.
So you got to get everybody involved. Think about WrestleMania 30. I mean, granted, they weren't involved in a match, but Rock, Hogan, and Stone Cold Steve Austin came out to celebrate.
Well, they were just having a moment. That was a WrestleMania moment.
It was a bigger moment than having Stone Cold Steve Austin come out to help Cody Rhodes, the prevailing babyface, fight off the bloodline. Think about it this way. The Avengers. You remember how hyped that moment was when everybody came out?
Everybody came through the portals.
Yes, when everybody came through the portals. Did some of those people not make sense? Maybe. What do the what is it? What they call the wizards?
I don't remember either.
I don't remember.
Wizards. What do I mean? Granted, they're protecting, but they don't have any real beef with Thanos. But they helped.
But the fate of the universe was at
And
you
the
know.
fate of WWE is on the line. If Roman wins,
Yeah, they
you
have
gotta
to take down the bloodline.
bloodline.
So the bloodline is Thanos and
Yep.
his followers and whatnot.
Yep,
Roman.
The Rock is literally
He
Thanos.
really is.
he really is Thanos.
He's the final
Really
boss.
is Thanos.
I just think it would make
I-
for such a huge moment to hear the glass shatter. We just spoke about it earlier. You hear that glass shatter, you up out of your seat, on your feet.
That's true.
There's no bigger moment you can have than The Rock and Stone Cold face to face at least one more time.
Oh my
Yo,
gosh, that would go crazy.
absolutely hard.
It doesn't matter, and that's the thing. You don't even
man.
have a match because Stone Cold got nothing left to prove. Rocky got nothing left to prove. It's just that moment.
Like what are you doing here? Why
Yep.
are you here?
Exactly. And The Rock's gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And The Rock
Is it-
and Stone Cold's gonna be like,
Yeah.
kick your ass, stunner."
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he did to
Yeah.
Vince McMahon.
I'm
He did at WrestleMania.
I'm starting to
Absolutely.
see it. I'm
I'm
starting to
doing
see it. I'm starting to see it.
It like I said, it doesn't need to play into the finish of the match. It's just to fight off the bloodline, so that way it's back to Cody and Roman, and then they can have another like 10 minutes.
Yep. And think of it. This is the Attitude Era. This is
That's
people
true too.
watching from the Ruthless.
No, that's true too.
What happened?
All of the eras are culminating into one. Okay.
Yes.
Yep. The you in the Attitude Era, because I know you said you watched a lot of that. Jeremy, I feel like he's more
Yes.
Ruthless Aggression.
Your
And
new generation.
I do not want to call it the
PG
PG era, but I'm going to call
no,
it
actually,
the
no.
new generation.
New generation
era.
was before, so it technically is PG era. Sorry.
Whatever. The post
Post-Ruthless
yeah, whatever.
Aggression era.
PG era. Yeah, post Ruthless Aggression. That's me. So everybody's getting to see this at WrestleMania 40. They already claimed it as one of the not the biggest WrestleMania ever. In the main event of night 2. They have to go all out.
I can see it now. I can see it.
And you also got to think about who's involved too, because you got Rock representing the Attitude Era, you
Right.
got Roman and Cody representing the post Ruthless Aggression era, and then we got Solo?
Solo.
Cena representing that too.
Ruthless Aggression.
Ruthless Aggression. Solo is like the new, like I don't know what they would. I guess the reality era. I don't know, but he's like the newer crop.
Well, they're calling
They're calling
it
now the
Renaissance
Renaissance era, but I don't really. I guess yeah.
Oh.
Maybe he's part of it, but he's more of like the newer crop. Like he's gonna be around longer. You know what I mean? So he's like the next generation
Yes.
coming up. So it's like everybody is like involved. So you got to get Stone Cold in there.
Yeah. Yep. And they already did a
did.
few Easter eggs. There was one on Monday night where we saw the truck in the
yeah.
back, and it was Stone Cold and
And
John
one
Cena's
thing
face
that
on
Triple
it.
H has made a very strong point is to do stuff in the background. I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but during promos, if you look in the background, you'll see stuff happen.
Oh yeah. Yep. I saw Drew McIntyre talking to
Yeah.
Paul Heyman one time, and later that night he came out to do something with the Bloodline. I forgot what it was. And also, there was something that I saw on I don't know. I think I saw it on a podcast that Stone Cold
Oh yeah, it
had
was on
posted
his
something,
TikTok,
or he was
or maybe like Instagram or something like that.
yeah. He was like basically, I don't remember exactly how it went, but he was basically like, "Yo, I got a Easter basket. I don't know what this is. A random Easter basket on my door." He picked up the Easter basket, it was a bunch of eggs and it was a bunch of beers, and he was like, "Oh, somebody's trying to get my like." He was basically like, "Somebody put this here. I don't know who it was." That person could have been Cody. I don't know if I'm stretching, but
We gonna have to wait till Sunday.
I don't know. They do a lot.
But overall, I've said it before. I think Cody is definitely winning this one. He has to. Yes, if he doesn't, he's done.
Yeah,
you know what? I think so, because you don't bring him back and put him in the main event of WrestleMania 2 years in a row to lose. Like, I thought he was gonna win last year.
Yeah, so did I.
Because it was just like storybook written. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you know, the guy comes back, the prodigal son comes home and wins the championship. Now he's at the top of the mountain. You're not gonna do that 2 years in a row.
It's an easy story to tell, and you get such goodwill out of it, especially now where WWE is hot. You got to keep the momentum going. You got to have Cody win, so that way the people who are invested can get the payoff that they were tuning in for, and then hopefully it trickles into everything afterwards.
But you know what? Whether Cody wins or he loses, the WWE wins. You know why? Because it's the same thing with Rock inserting himself in the first place. You saw how loud the reactions were, and WWE caught lightning in a bottle. Like, they really caught lightning in a bottle with this.
They did,
because remember I said earlier, like, this whole thing with Rock saved WrestleMania, because we were headed towards God knows what gonna happen at WrestleMania.
I don't think he saved it. I think he amplified it.
He saved it. You know why?
He didn't save it.
He saved it.
No, he saved his own ass.
But,
well, I mean,
he saved. Look, we don't know how Rock and Roman would have turned out, and we don't know what Cody would have been doing. But
Cody was gonna. I told you, Cody was gonna face Roman. That was the original plan before Rock got involved.
No, but I'm saying, like, when Rock got involved, we don't know what Cody would have pivoted to. He wasn't going to challenge Seth.
I mean, maybe. He probably
would have, to be honest.
Vengeance. I want my lick back. You beat me last year. You cheated. Your cousins got involved as per usual. I want my lick back, and I want my title shot, and I'm coming for you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? But with Rock inserting himself and then pivoting because of the negative reaction, it made WrestleMania that much more interesting to everybody, because we don't know what was going to happen. WrestleMania, and then everything else started to materialize afterward. WrestleMania was bare bones when that kickoff thing happened. They had the press conference, and it turned into like what it turned into. That's what really got everybody like, oh snap, like, yo, wrestling is about to jump off again. And I think that's because of The Rock. Like, that's just the star power that he draws. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
what I do think, though, Rock inserting himself into the whole storyline, whether it was gonna be Roman and Rock or like after they pivoted, it took a lot of the attention away from the whole Vince McMahon stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It saved WrestleMania, bro.
I don't think it saved it. I think it like I said before, it amplified it to the point where it was undeniable. Like, yeah, I feel like WrestleMania is always a big show, and they always do a good job at promoting and stuff like that. But now you got the world watching. It's not just wrestling fans. Now you got the world watching. Like Rock said, wrestling is cool again.
Yeah,
because of him.
I'll
give Triple H and the rest of the group credit as well. Like I said before, Triple H he saved the company, bro. Like, he's clearly pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah.
Especially because Stephanie and Shane are not even in the picture anymore. And I think what's his name's out of the picture too. What's his name? Nick Khan. No, Nick Khan's still in the picture. But John Laurinaitis.
Oh yeah, he's been gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you got all that out of the way, and Triple H has not missed. What's the one? What has he missed on since he's been running the show?
I mean, there's been some like weeks where not the best, but so far, like overall, he's been definitely like a better booker than anything Vince has done in the last decade plus.
Bro, if it was up to Vince, we would be having Brock Lesnar headline WrestleMania in a 10-minute match.
We would have had
15th time.
Yeah, we would have had Brock and Roman probably again.
Like, dude, like we're tired of you now. Again, okay, now see that Brock's not in the picture because of, you know, his situation with the scandal. Who steps in to save the day?
I think if you want to say that Rock and Triple H by association, or Triple H and Rock by association, they saved WWE. WrestleMania, I feel like would have been fine regardless.
I don't think so.
WWE, because also remember he joined TKO on the board.
Yeah, he's on the board, yes.
And they got the Netflix deal, mostly probably in part due to Rock joining the board of directors. So I think he saved or helped save WWE as a whole. But I think WrestleMania would have been fine.
I don't know, because there have been, like you said, there have been WrestleManias. WrestleMania is a spectacle in and of itself, right? Like, it's like a well-oiled machine.
And
but
pardon me, didn't you buy tickets to WrestleMania before any of this happened?
Well, we bought WrestleMania tickets because of the vicinity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
it's Philly's an hour and a half away. Like, we wanted to go last year, but tickets to fly over there and stay over there to get to, like, it was way too expensive to go last year. You know what I mean? But you know, we went this year. If it's in the tri-state area, bro, it's take a quick train ride or a drive. It's an hour and a half away, 2 hours. What can we lose? We spend more money on the tickets than actually getting there and whatnot. But you know, even then, but when we bought the tickets, I was like, okay, what's gonna happen this year? You know, like, I wasn't sure of anything. I wasn't sure it was going to be a good show. But now I know for certain this is probably going to be the greatest WrestleMania that we've ever seen. Maybe. Possibly. But we'll see what happens.
Cam, any final thoughts before we end it?
I agree that I think The Rock just amplified it. I think they were killing it with the bloodline stuff. I honestly think Brock Lesnar would have faced Gunther if he was still here.
That was supposedly the plan.
Yeah, so I think that would have been the plan. I think that, and then CM Punk before he got injured would have faced Seth Rollins. I think it would have been a great show if all this stuff didn't happen, but I think it would have been a great show anyways. I think The Rock coming back just made it 10 times better. And it's like, I think Rock versus Roman would have been terrible, but not terrible match, but a terrible idea. But since he turned heel, I think it reversed it. It was gonna go south, and then they literally reversed it and went all the way up, and it's great now. I mean, it's been great, but it's even better. And that's what I have to say about The Rock.
Oh, real quick, there's been theories floating around that Rock might actually betray Roman at WrestleMania. What do y'all think about that?
I think if they're going to prolong this bloodline storyline, because they said it, or maybe like in podcasts or whatever, that they're not done with the bloodline storyline, and you can extend it past WrestleMania, but it'll essentially be the bloodline, the downfall of the bloodline. Yeah. So you can extend that past, like Roman loses, and then either maybe Rock kicks him out, or like it begins like the trials of Roman Reigns or trials of The Rock, where Roman basically has to prove himself again as the head of the table. And then it ultimately leads to Roman getting kicked out, and that's when you build to Rock versus Roman next year.
Oh,
well, Rock.
I think Rock he could turn on him. Heel, my bad.
So Rock has to stay heel.
That's the only way it works, because because it would have been just what they would have done this year if Rock stayed against Roman, because Rock, for as much as we praise him and stuff like that, he's kind of like boring as a face. Like, he just does the same thing, the same catchphrases, the same like stuff like that. So I feel like he has to stay heel. Roman can potentially be the biggest babyface since Cody Rhodes, if they turn him face. Because usually, if you think about it, the best faces are where the heels. Because people want to cheer for Roman Reigns. You hear him when he comes out. Everybody, when we were at Brooklyn, everybody was throwing up the ones. Everybody was cheering for him. But then he's the heel, so you gotta boo him. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think Roman Reigns could be a big baby face as well, but I think The Rock could potentially turn on him the Raw after WrestleMania.
I feel like that would be the time to do it, because that's when Raw after WrestleMania is where you do the big storyline that kicks off the next quote unquote season of wrestling or WWE. So if you're gonna do that, then having Rock betray and kick out Roman from the bloodline, that's gonna get people talking.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't think they show up enough for them to like kill like the momentum. I think you could have The Rock disappear. You could have Roman, like, he can still show up and stuff like that, but it won't really kill it. Like,
that's the thing. You can let
fine.
people breathe, because the bloodline, Cody and them,
it's exhausting.
They beat him. Let the bloodline breathe. You can still continue the Jimmy and Jay stuff, but then like once Roman comes back, then you start planting the seeds of like Rock versus Roman next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Well, I will let you guys know. Well, real quick, I'll let you guys know what the vibes are like at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday and Sunday, because I guarantee you there's going to be, especially in the city of Philly. Philly is like a very lively, very animated, a very animated city. So
yes,
I'll let y'all know what the vibes are like. I'll be reporting.
Yes, you will be live reporting.
Yes, I will. Yes, take us out, brother.
So that'll do it for us. You can follow us on our socials, which is right there. I won't read it out because I'm lazy. You can do it. Just don't do the Facebook. That don't exist no more. And like and subscribe, and you can listen to my other podcast, Loading Up. And that's it. Cam, you got anything you want to promote?
Maybe a future podcast coming from me in the future. I don't know yet about wrestling.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. It'll be about wrestling if it's there, but
stay tuned.
I don't know. Stay tuned.
All right.
Got one coming down the pipeline, y'all.
Yeah.